What do you make of the fact that he says, you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No, that's just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him. And I like him. You know, I always got along with him. Never had a problem with him. But he's grossly incompetent.
I think one of the big problems we have with like anti-ICE protesting in America is that there's a bunch of different angles. It's really, really difficult for people to come together in a common angle. The indigenous rights side of things is, and I'm saying this respectfully as a person who's always advocated for land back, irrelevant to what's happening right now with ICE. Literally irrelevant. That's not the line at all. For a lot of people, it's like a pro-Mexico thing, but it's also broadly about like democracy at large. I mean, everyone's involved, you know? You need like a common message. But ICE is like apparently not a very functional common message because a lot of people, a lot of dipshit, you know, borderline Hitlerite libs, they don't seem to understand. They can't get it in their head that it's possible for police agencies to do anything wrong. You can make it like an anti-Trump thing broadly, but for one, the current line that ICE is taking, the strategy the federal government is taking is nominally white supremacist, but in practice is just an opportunity to crack down on all dissent against the government, right? Like the mechanism that's being used is ICE deportations, white supremacy, of course, and that is a goal. But it is the larger goal here is to incite counter-protesting and use this as an excuse to go after any opposition. So we need to focus on the messaging. Did you see this poll about people's view of Trump sending in National Guard Marines? Do you approve or disapprove of deploying National Guard soldiers to the Los Angeles area to respond to protests over the federal government's immigration enforcement? 38% approve, 45% disapprove, 17% not sure. Expect these numbers to get worse for us over time. More and more people are going to support the crackdowns. Why the f is it so close? No counter messaging. Many ICE raids over the last 12 hours. President Claudia Sheinbaum asserted that it is absolutely false to claim that she encouraged the protests in Los Angeles, California. Damn, no solidarity across borders, huh? I saw a similar graph, albeit in the UK, about trans acceptance of opinion over time matched with media coverage, and yeah, it really is as simple as the more coverage there is for a narrative, the more people fall in line with it over time. Yep, but Democrats do not believe in changing people's minds, only in responding to how people already think of an issue. So, yeah, I don't know. Unless that issue is Israel. Yeah, well, on that issue, they're paid to have the wrong opinion. How can there be a counter message when the DNC chair cries when people disagree with him? I can't get over that shit, man. That's so... I cannot get over that. That needs more coverage and embellishment. It's not going to get covered. Dude, Los Angeles is so big. California is one of the biggest states, and we can see, while looking at the entirety of California, you can still see the sprawl. There was an ICE checkpoint in Sacramento today. Really? Is there a single Sunbelt city that does urban planning well? Hold on, chat. Help me out with this one. Is there a single Sunbelt city that does urban planning well? Like, even a little one? San Diego? Nope, absolutely not. Phoenix? Absolutely not. There might be something in New Mexico, but I don't know. Does Boulder count as the Sunbelt? No. I guess the Sun Belt does go all the way east, so eventually you're going to hit like a Georgian city that was built in like 1802 that still looks nice or something, but Savannah's pretty? I've never been there. Newsom asks court to block National Guard from helping ICE. California governor, I've heard of this guy, asked court to block Trump administration from using troops in immigration raids. The filing included a declaration from Paul Eck, Deputy General Counsel in the California Military Department. Eck said the department has been informed that the Pentagon plans to direct the California National Guard to start providing support for immigration operations. That support would include holding secure perimeters around areas where raids are taking place and securing streets for immigration agents. That's great. We're gonna start having, yeah, like military perimeters established around like a taco stand. Did you guys see the leaked memo from Kristi Noem to Hegseth that I talked about the other day, where she pushed for Hegseth to illegally authorize the National Guard to assist in arresting without the invocation of the Insurrection Act? That was cool. He wants a ruling within 2 hours. What really sucks is a lot of these National Guardsmen are getting pulled off of burning clear missions across Southern California in anticipation of a pretty brutal fire season this summer. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe a cleansing fire that scours the earth of America would be the only way, the only path to salvation. Maybe this is divine providence. Perhaps. Everyone go to Yellowstone and jump up and down. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I see there are some active fires across California. Apparently it's smoky outside. Like even up here in Seattle. There's burning coming down from Canada.
For the communities that feed the entire nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we'll have Fernando Martinez from Michael, followed by AJ Hogan.
It's so blackpilling that, like, we're apparently more than 50,000 French people protested after Israel engaged in piracy and kidnapped Greta Thunberg from the aid flotilla, you know? But nowhere near that many people are protesting in the United States, a much larger country, about the insane shit that's happening here. We're so cooked, man. What do the French have to do with that? I mean, Greta Thunberg's flotilla was of international interest. Are the reports of looting in LA last night true? There were some videos about it. I'm sure people were looting. They said they found a dead body near the looted stores. Tim Pool clip. Are you seriously asking me to debunk a Tim Pool clip?
A dead body has been discovered in Los Angeles where the mass looting was taking place. And considering these individuals who are engaged in the mass looting have no regard for safety or law, human life and property, the assumption most people are making is that this is related, but we do have limited information.
Holy shit. That's a remarkable act of restraint on Tim Pool's part, you know? That's crazy. Do you think Tim Pool will eventually become like the Ben Shapiro 2 steps over? Where like Ben Shapiro is a fascist, but he got left behind because he's less crazy than most Republicans. So eventually, like a year from now, the mainstream Republican position will be like calling for like, you know, the day of the rope. And Tim Pool will be over here still kind of like doing the, well, no, I'm not explicitly that far right, you know. He's a little too dorky for it. That would be pretty funny.
And so the police are currently investigating, and I suppose there is a possibility, a real one, that after all the rioting and the looting, some guy was there and just went, oh, I'm suffering a congenital heart defect, and then died on the street. No, I'm kidding. I mean,
that can totally happen. Is there any report on like the injury? I'm looking at an article right now. I'm trying to see if there's any description of death investigations underway Tuesday after a man's body was found on a sidewalk in an area of downtown LA. Was he homeless? Because homeless people die in Los Angeles with, you know, depressing regularity. Police were called to the area of West 3rd Street and Broadway shortly after 1:30 a.m. where they found the unresponsive man. A spokesperson for the LAPD confirmed to KTLA. Video showed investigators at the scene standing next to the man who was lying on his back wearing a red sweatshirt. Cause of death was under investigation. I feel like if there were visible injuries on the guy, it probably would have been included in the initial report because there were reporters there. Like if there were bullet holes in the guy and blood all over the street. Like I'm looking at stills of the image right now. That probably would have gotten written in. Yeah, it was probably an OD or something like that. I mean, it's really sad, but yeah. So what's the conspiratorial implication here? That like looters broke into Adidas and then on the way out they went blat blat and just shot a random guy? The looters gave him fent. They hit him with the dang fent gun.
Brutal. But this could be anything. Although I think it's fair to say that when you find a dead body lying in the street, that is not a common occurrence. And the assumption is this is related to those riots.
I'm not going to lie. His rhetoric on this is actually more moderate than I expect. Like, I don't engage with the conservative grift scene as much these days because it's all kind of samey. So I guess, like, judging from the ambient noise I'd picked up on, I expected him to declare, you know, jihad over this. But I'm trying to see. Yeah, judging from what I'm seeing on in the articles that are talking about this, I don't see any information that's interesting. It's probably just an OD. If it wasn't an OD, then I'm actually like curious. Like they picked up a body. Like what was it? I don't know. Thank you, MAGA Kitty or Save USA Kitty. Pool was always like this. I wonder what his compound is like now. I haven't been there in ages. He had like 3D printers there the last time I went. He showed them off to me. He was proud of them. I think 3D printers back then were like a little more new. It was like, what, 3 years ago? That skate park was pretty cool. They're fairly ubiquitous now, though. Yeah, but they're pretty cool. I'm pretty down on a lot of tech, but 3D printers are genuinely, like, very, very cool. You know, I'm not a hater on 3D printers at all. This is a 3D printer safe space. I don't have one. I don't have any intention of ever using one, but I think they're pretty cool. Wasn't it 2020? No, I went after. There was some other time I went. I don't know.